over the last month, Hedera has been competing in the 2022 Ultimate Cryptocurrency Tournament. And earlier today, Hedera managed to win the entire tournament that included 64 of the world's top cryptocurrencies. We managed to get Michael, the tournament founder, here today to give us a rundown. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Brandon. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad we got you. So to kick it off, can you tell us about the tournament and why you started it?
Sure. First, I would like to say congratulations to HBAR and Hedera for winning the tournament in an epic showdown. I mean, you guys just killed it this tournament. Every single round, it seemed, was super exciting. And the second round against eCash, come from behind victory, neck and neck, and then taking down Algorand. And I mean, that was basically, well, no. I was going to say it was basically the finals there, but no, Elrond put up a huge fight too. But all right, back to your question.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was exciting. Almost every one we came from behind at some point, but it was a lot of fun. So what are your personal thoughts on the Hedera network?
I don't know a bunch about it besides that it's a DLT. And I know that that's, much more efficient and much quicker for transactions than a traditional blockchain. But besides that, I've been busy just sort of running the tournament that I haven't taken a deep dive yet. Just before this interview, I was, trying to put the graphics together for, the 2022 championship banner and making sure that it's the right typography and everything like that. Cause, I got to make sure it's professional. But would you mind telling me a brief introduction to the coin and why everybody's so excited about it? Because I can see there's a lot of enthusiasm behind it.
Sure. Well, I mean, the DLT is a big umbrella. It covers everything from Bitcoin to Ethereum, all that kind of stuff. Hedera is based off of the hash graph algorithm that was invented by Dr. Lehman Baird, who's still the CTO at Hedera. There's some shuffling going on, but he's still very involved and he's going to stay involved. The reason why I am so passionate about Hedera is we look at a bunch of different things when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? That we kind of rank them based off of. And it comes down to the speed of the network, and Hedera can do 10,000 transactions per second per shard. It can be sharded and you can multiply that by many times. And they can increase it far above 10,000 transactions per second. First it can be tens of thousands. And then when they start using GPUs instead of CPUs, it's going to go even higher up. They have a fantastic governance structure where they have Google and IBM and Deutsche Telekom and Nomura and all these huge corporations that help manage the network. Currently, they're running all the nodes, but they are in the path to decentralization. There's, of course, that's another thing we measure a lot of these networks by is decentralization, and they're on the path down toward decentralization. Their finality is faster than credit cards. It's less than 7 seconds to finalize a transaction, and it has true finality. So it's not just probabilistic like Bitcoin or Ethereum or other blockchains. You actually get true finality. And that comes down to their security, which is something called a Byzantine fault tolerance. And they also have the highest level of security. And I could keep going down the line, but yeah, I think you should take a deep dive because it is a rabbit hole you want to go down. It's a lot of fun.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I definitely will.
Good stuff. So why do you think top networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum don't fare better in your tournament?
Well, probably because whenever I try and advertise on their Reddits, I get banned or, the post gets deleted. So a lot of people don't know about it, possibly. That's one reason. And secondly, if they know about it, they could be feeling that this sort of thing is somehow beneath them and they should not be even in the same, they're not comparable to eCash or Hedera or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so, of course, I get the sentiment, etc. But that's why I think, and I guess I could go on, but enthusiasm for your project does help, and I do imagine that in the future, these Bitcoiners or Ethereum, Vitalik's fans, they get into it and the vote totals are in the hundreds of thousands or the millions or something like that. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan when eCash took down Bitcoin, but it's like, oh man, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? What am I going to do? Whatever. 16 seeds 16 over 1 seeds upsets happen. And so I just had to roll with it.
Hey, yeah. And we did have fun with it either way. So can you, So can you tell us about the tournament MVP?
Yes, it was a gentleman. I'm assuming it's a gentleman named Credible Crypto. I'm putting together a little picture for him to give him an MVP award right now. I don't know who he is, but I guess he's a crypto trader. He's got 320,000 followers, and I first came into awareness of him in the second round when Hedera was fighting against eCash, and it was neck and neck, and then with like 10 minutes left or something, a billion votes came in for Hedera, just a few thousand, but it really swung the outcome. And even I was like, what the heck just happened? And I was thinking like, oh, did they do something? Because I don't want to like, you guys cheated and then everybody gets mad or something like that. And so he saves his retweets of the tournament results until the very end, which is a very, very strategic move. And then he'll retweet it to all his followers, and I guess they'll all vote en masse right away. And some people cried foul, but to me, like, it seems, what's the word, very causative that the minute after he reposts, then boom, a ton of votes come in.
Well, that leads me right into my next question. So I think the spikes in the Hedera votes can be attributed to Credible Crypto because, like you said, he has over 300,000 followers on Twitter. But there were questions about bot use and things like that. Do you have any controls in place to prevent cheating?
Besides telling people only humans can vote, nothing technical, because I don't really understand how that works. And 2 years ago, I just wanted to get it off the ground, and I was concerned about that. But I'm not super technical, and I don't really understand how a bot like Swarm would work, or how that could even happen, or how one could even prevent it. Last year, I disqualified Nexo because they defeated Ethereum in the first round, a 16-1 again. Except I noticed that Ethereum had a huge lead, and then Nexo just kept chipping away, but nobody was commenting or liking it, etc. Or no, the only people who were liking it were all these weird accounts that were like, in their description, it'd be like bacon aficionado, travel spelunker extraordinary, just all this weird like gibberish, that didn't make any sense. And so I banned them, and then only one person got upset, so it was probably him doing it. And besides just watching for suspicious activity and posts that just make no sense, I'm open to more safeguards, but I just don't have them in yet.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, and what the comments that were coming in, did it seem like we were getting enough comments to validate our votes?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course. Yeah, and I mean, like, the thousands of votes came right after he retweeted it, and so like that's okay. That makes sense. Where boom, that's where the spike came from. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like maybe he did something, but I don't know. I can't really prove it, or well, maybe I could, but I don't really know how to yet, and I don't without any evidence. Besides, like what I mentioned with the Nexo thing, I don't want to start throwing any accusations around because I don't have any proof to back it up. And it could just be, a bunch of people saw it and they voted on it. You know what I mean?
Well, Credible, I mean, it goes with his name, right? Credible Crypto. I think he has a lot of integrity. I don't think he would ever do anything like that. And you're right. I mean, you could draw a straight line to when he tweeted and when the votes shot up. So moving on to my next question. How important do you think community is in the cryptocurrency space?
Extremely. Okay, so as you know, like cryptocurrency can be daunting and confusing to, I guess, like normal people who've just heard the word but have no idea what it means. I mean, it was really confusing for me originally. And if there is an enthusiastic and welcoming community that helps people understand what they're actually doing, that it's not like, they buy some token and then, the next minute it's all gone, or their bank account is hacked or something like that. Like, I tell people about crypto, and that's like legitimate fears they have. So anyway, having a welcoming and enthusiastic community that's like, it's real people, excited about it, and they're happy to share why they're so excited. And that's super important.
Yeah. Well, we certainly have that in the Hedera community. Michael, thanks so much for coming on today. Is there anything else you'd like to pass on before we let you go?
Sure. I didn't answer your first question about the tournament, and I wanted to share this sort of backstory behind it because
sure.
I really like it. No, it's all right. I just gave Hedera a shout out first, but basically 2 years ago, before the COVID stuff shut down the March Madness tournament, I guess there's a backup. So I've always loved tournaments and March Madness and everything like that. I used to run like backyard basketball tournaments after March Madness was over because I thought it was super exciting, like with my 2 little basketball hoops. And so sort of in my blood. And a couple years ago, I can't remember, I saw something where it was like a soccer tournament with crypto or something like that. And like, that's not a great idea. But what about if there was I started looking through the 1 through 64 coins and thought like, who would match up against whom? Who would be the top 4 seeds? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, and like that's kind of interesting. And like, are you a basketball fan? But like, did you follow the? Yeah. So you know how like some 1 seeds or 2 seeds are overrated and some are real strong and then like some 5 or 6 seeds are underrated and they're dangerous. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. I could see like a coin in the 20s. That'd be a tough one. I wouldn't want to play them and stuff like that. And I just started going with it. This could be the most, this would be really exciting actually. And then I just sort of thought, well, what's the best way to put this, like how to actually play the games, etc. And I just came up with a voting idea, etc. And then Twitter was, I guess, the most natural choice because it could do polls and there were a lot of people on it. And yeah, I started it in like 2020 when the March Madness thing got canceled, and I was kind of hiding out too from the world too because I wasn't sure what was going on, but I really wanted to launch the tournament. You know what I mean?
We all live that.
Right. So that was like March 17th, 18th, 19th. And I just started it. It got bigger and bigger as the rounds went on in the first year. And the first year, people on Reddit were telling me to F off and stuff like that. And this is the stupidest idea ever and stuff like that. Because that was when crypto was crashing too. Remember? Like Bitcoin was like 4,000 or 3,000 or something like that. So everybody was pissed off.
Right?
Right. And then the second year, after like, I think Nano won the first tournament as a 15 seed. So it's like, okay, well, good for you guys, But the second year, Bitcoin's like 50,000 or something, and everybody, like the same Reddits that told me to F off, they're like, this is the best idea ever. This is so cool. You know what I mean? And so it's grown from there, and it's really grown organically. And Hedera has done a great job. This is the 3rd year in the tournament. You guys have been knocked out the first 2 rounds in the Sweet 16 both times. A really tough matchup. And so it was the first time you guys lost to Nano, who won the tournament, and then last year lost to Algorand, gave Algorand its toughest fight actually, but just came up just a tiny bit short, and then this year won it all. So I wanted to explain that. So I have a great time doing this. I'm glad you do too.
Yeah, we really had a blast with it. It was a lot of fun. Thanks again for coming on, and we're looking forward to 2023.
It's going to be great. I think there's going to be a World Cup version this summer because the summer is always the time for the World Cup. They're doing it in like December, which I guess maybe because Qatar is really hot and everything like that. But we're going to do another World Cup version this year as well, I believe. But thank you so much too for having me and for making this so much fun.